Why do women slowly stop respecting the man they once adored? It's not because he changed. It's because he failed to protect what made her respect him in the first place. A man who can't say no will never be respected. Not by her, not by the world, and worst of all, not by himself. The most powerful shift you'll ever make is this. Stop trying to be loved and start becoming a man who commands silent respect. Boundaries that make women respect you. More, respect is built on boundaries, not pleasing. There's a harsh truth most men never learn until it's too late. Love without respect turns into resentment. And respect isn't something you ask for with your voice. It's something you command with your energy, your silence, your refusal to bend. Where you shouldn't, let me tell you a story. A man named Darren had been dating the same woman for 3 years. In the beginning, things were magnetic. She laughed at his jokes, admired his ambition, hung on to his every word. But slowly, something shifted. She started speaking over him, ignoring his messages for hours, flirting with other men in front of him, then calling him insecure when he brought it up. And Darren? He stayed. He thought love meant patience, that if he just gave more, she'd come back. But she didn't. And one day, she left with someone else. Boundary number 1, never reward. Disrespect. This is the first and hardest lesson. If you tolerate even the smallest act of disrespect, you teach her how to treat you. Most men believe love is sacrifice, but what they forget is that when you sacrifice your standards to keep a woman, you lose both the standard and the woman. When she teases you in front of her friends and you stay silent, she notices. When she mocks your dreams and you try to explain them instead of walking away, she feels it. When she disappears for a whole evening and you text, "Are you okay?" instead of setting a boundary, she files that away under, "He won't leave." It doesn't matter how strong you are physically, how deep your love runs, or how much you think she understands you. If you let disrespect slide once, you'll slide with it. The Stoic response, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Your job is not to change her behavior. It's to make your response so solid, so non-negotiable, that she calibrates herself to your code, or she exits your life. This isn't about ego. It's about energetic integrity. A man without a line cannot be trusted, not by others, and not by himself. So what do? You recognize disrespect in all its forms, passive-aggressive jokes, flirting to provoke silent treatments, subtle mockery, undermining your leadership, and then you correct it once. Not with anger, not with pleading, with stillness, with directness. Don't speak to me like that again. If it happens again, I'm gone. That's it. No debates, no follow-up. And if it happens again, you walk. Because a man who walks after one violation is more respected than a man who stays through 1,000 chances. Real-world analogy? Think about the best leaders in history. The generals, CEOs, founders. Did they explain their standards again and again? No. They made them known and upheld them without compromise. People either rose to meet them or fell out of alignment. You're not here to babysit someone's emotional outbursts. You're here to build a kingdom, and kingdoms fall when kings ignore cracks in the foundation. Boundary number 2, guard your peace. Like it's your most expensive asset, peace isn't found on a tropical beach. It's not something you stumble into after a long break. It's a product of strict boundaries. The man without peace is a man under siege. He reacts to every comment, answers every text instantly, walks into every argument, allows toxic energy into his life, because he doesn't know what silence feels like. Women sense this. Instantly, she knows when your energy is scattered, when you're always available, when your world bends to her moods. And the result? She loses respect. Why? Because women test for emotional security, and peace is its highest form. The Stoic warrior's practice, Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Peace is not about avoiding conflict. It's about training yourself to remain unmoved in the presence of it. When she tries to pull you into drama, when she uses silence as a weapon, when she wants to provoke a response to validate her power over you, you must hold the frame. You must say without words, "This storm does not reach me." How to build and guard your peace. Audit your environment. If she's constantly emotional, if your friends are always complaining, if your phone is always buzzing, you are leaking peace. Build sacred routines. Wake up before the noise. Train before the day begins. Write before the opinions arrive. Reclaim your time. Don't text back immediately. Don't attend everything. Don't explain your absence. Remove chaos ruthlessly. If someone drains you repeatedly, they don't get access anymore. Period. Remember this. Peace is the atmosphere in which kings think. Without it, you're reactive, anxious, unfocused. With it, you become magnetic, grounded, and deeply respected. Not just by her, but by the world. Boundary number 3. Don't overshare. Mystery is magnetic. You've probably heard this 1,000 times. Just open up, be vulnerable, share more. But let me ask you something. When you did that, did it pull her closer or push her away? There's a moment in every modern relationship where a man taught to be more open lays every piece of his soul bare. His fears, wounds, overthinking, anxieties, failed dreams. And for a while, she listens, nods, smiles. But slowly, something fades. Her eyes stop shining with admiration. Her voice changes. Her body pulls back. You didn't do anything wrong, but you gave her access to something she didn't earn. Here's what you must understand. A man's depth is not meant to be dumped. It's meant to be discovered. Women fall in love with mystery, with the unspoken, tension between what they see and what they don't fully understand yet, with the idea that there's more to you, more strength, more vision, more fire beneath the surface. The Stoic edge Marcus Aurelius didn't write endless essays about his pain to gain sympathy. He journaled in silence, reflected in solitude, and emerged with clarity. That is your blueprint. Your emotions, they're not to be hidden, but they are to be mastered before they're shared. Don't overshare your wounds before they're scars. Don't talk about your anxiety while you're drowning in it. Don't use your story as a tool to be understood. Use your presence to be respected. Give glimpses, not blueprints. Real life parallel. Ever met a man who says little but commands the entire room? He doesn't explain his past. He doesn't spill his emotions. He doesn't fill silence with chatter. Yet everyone leans in when he speaks. Why? Because mystery amplifies presence. And presence is far more attractive than over-explanation. Oversharing too soon turns your depth into emotional clutter. You become predictable, safe, familiar, and nothing kills attraction faster than predictability. The principle: speak less, hold more, let her earn access. When you bleed too soon, you stop being her partner and start becoming her project. Women don't fall for projects, they fall for presence. Boundary number 4. Master your emotions. No more reactivity. A truly powerful man isn't the one who never feels. It's the one who feels deeply, but remains unmoved when tested. Reactivity is the enemy of masculine power, and women, whether consciously or unconsciously, are always testing for your center. She'll tease, challenge, withdraw. Not because she's cruel, but because she needs to know. Are you grounded, or are you faking it? Every time you get pulled into an argument, chased her silence, over-explained yourself to a passive-aggressive comment, you lose a little bit of your frame. Stoic insight, Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's not a quote, that's a life code. In a world that rewards outrage and emotional outbursts, the man who responds with calm is a revolution. Emotional mastery and practice. When she goes silent to trigger you, you remain still. When she accuses you unfairly, you don't defend, you redirect. When she tests you with indirect comments, you don't bite. When life blindsides you, you don't react. You pause. The pause is your weapon. It's the space between impulse and execution where your future is shaped. Real-world example, imagine a CEO in a boardroom being insulted by an angry investor. The weak leader yells, defends, reacts emotionally. The strong one smiles, nods, and speaks one sentence that disarms the entire room. Who earns respect? Same. Dynamic in relationships. The less reactive you are, the more centered she feels around you. She trusts you more, not because you solved her emotions, but because you didn't drown in them. Stillness is not apathy, it's leadership. Boundary number 5. Be willing to walk away, or you'll be owned. This is the final, and perhaps most feared boundary. The ability to walk away without anger, without guilt, without explanation. Men who cannot walk, beg. Men who stay no matter what slowly lose their edge, their standards, and eventually their identity. When a woman senses that you will remain loyal even while being disrespected, mistreated, or emotionally manipulated, her behavior changes. Not because she's evil, but because you've removed all consequences. And where there are no consequences, chaos follows. The Stoic parallel. The Stoics were masters of detachment. They loved deeply, but not desperately. They gave themselves to people and causes, but never allowed those things to own their peace. You must become a man who is not afraid to lose what disrespects him. That includes the job that drains your soul. The woman who no longer honors your presence. The friendships built on guilt, not growth. When you walk away, you don't just lose something. You make space for everything you were meant to build. Real life impact. You've probably heard this line before. She only changed after I left. Of course she did, because when you stayed, she saw you as optional. When you left, she saw what she could never reach again. But here's the deeper power. You don't leave to teach her a lesson. You leave to protect your mission. And your mission must always come first. The final Stoic truth: he who is brave is free. Seneca, to walk away is to be free. Free from manipulation. Free from disrespect. Free from your own addiction to validation. It's in that freedom that the next version of you is born. One who doesn't tolerate, one who doesn't negotiate with disrespect, one who builds his life not around women but around standards. Final reflection and call to action, so let's bring it all together. Never reward disrespect. Respect is not earned by love, it's earned by limits. Guard your peace. You're not a container for chaos. You are a fortress. Don't overshare. Let her earn access to your soul. Mystery is the fire. Master your emotions. Calmness is your superpower. Stillness is strength. Be willing to walk away, because anything that costs your self-respect is too expensive. The man who lives by these boundaries doesn't need to speak loudly. His energy says everything. If you felt something shift inside you today, thank you for being here. If this message stirred something in your soul or challenged your beliefs, let's grow together. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What boundary are you going to enforce starting today? Like this video if it spoke to you. Subscribe to this channel to join a brotherhood of men walking in strength and silence. And always remember, you don't need to prove yourself. You only need to protect yourself. That's not weakness. That's Stoic masculinity.